is a combination of two words, biological and diversity. It refers to the variety of life on Earth and encompasses all the living things that exist in a certain area, in the air, on land, or on water, plants, animals, microorganisms, fungi. The area considered may be as small as your backyard compost, or as big as our whole planet. Animals and plants don't exist in isolation. Just look around you. All living things are connected to other living things and to their non-living environment. If one tiny species in an ecosystem becomes extinct, we may not notice or think it's important, but the biodiversity of the ecosystem will be altered, and all the ecosystems that the species belong to will be affected. Yet, we ignore it every day. We live by like nothing happens. This is what our research is all about.
There are multiple reasons on why we have to sustain the biodiversity in the community. It ranges from benefits of natural services such as food, medicine, and contribution of climate stability to the interdependence of each species. We have trees to convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen for us to breathe. The more species of plants and animals in an area, the greater the biodiversity and healthier the ecosystem. However, human activities can greatly impact the ecosystem and thus impacting the biodiversity. For example, deforestation threatens many species and the destruction of trees can have changes to the climate. A quote from Klaus Topfer, a former executive director of the United Nations Environment Program. He quotes, "If any part of the web suffers or breaks down, the future of life on the planet will be at risk." Biodiversity is essential for the survival of every being on the planet. Biodiversity is present all around us, from the busy streets of the city to the calm suburbs of Glenwaverley, yet we always seem to ignore it. And that is man's greatest flaw.
We're talking about biodiversity in such a built environment like this. It sort of permeates throughout our society these days, where we're in urban environments, but we still need to know about biodiversity. So I think no matter what you're studying, whether it's engineering, teaching, health or art, it's definitely benefit from learning about biodiversity.
This is Luke from Biodiversity, and just want to ask you some questions. In your opinion, is the garden a social garden place?
Yeah, we try and make our gardens usable for our staff and students. A lot of the people that come here are highly stressed. They're doing some pretty important things and they've got exams and whatnot, so we try and create areas where they can meet, relax. We're starting to install power and USB plugs into our garden beds so they can actually study and work in them in a pretty peaceful environment. So, yeah, I do.
School food gardens positively impact on traditional disciplines and physical encouragement. To start things off, school gardening has been shown to increase self-esteem, help students to develop a sense of ownership and responsibility. Through our survey, sharing knowledge and teamwork in gardens, students have expressed higher levels of compassion and communication with others. Results have shown school food gardens also contribute to personal development, including increased student engagement, confidence, teamwork, and social skills. Food garden spaces like Deacon have been identified as particular educational spaces as they promote student participation in an active environment. However, unlike physical education classes, there is no competitive element, allowing the skills and abilities of different students to develop and shine. They also promote and offer space for student engagement and experiential learning. While many learning activities are classroom-based, the garden is an alternative space and indeed a living classroom for science, geography, and environmental learning. The study found that school gardens influence students to also eat grown food found in them, encouraging healthy and fresh food consumption. Given the large proportion of time students are restricted to standard sitting activities, active participation is incredibly valuable. They also foster reconnections to local animals and food. Several researchers have commented that school food gardens can act as spaces to connect students with locally grown food and local animals, while simultaneously connecting them to the places where they were found. For example, the growing of diverse culturally appropriate foods in Deakin. Just as Aboriginal heritage plants are grown in the Deakin garden, it can help develop appreciation from young people of the value and significance of worldwide food cultures and what we commonly eat today. Food and animals are widely recognized as a key element in overcoming cultural barriers. The sharing of them is a major step in cultural sensitivity and appreciation.
Definitely, that was one of the main reasons that we wanted to create this garden. It's all about trying to get staff and students to come together, because there's sort of that divide between who's studying and who's actually a teacher. Whereas in this space, it's more about everyone sort of learning and sharing together, and we get a lot of staff and student interaction, and it becomes a really social space. It's great.
The benefits of the garden are that it increases biodiversity of plants and animals in the local area. It reduces food miles that are required to transport nutritious food. The school garden allows for the creation of social ties and builds a greater feeling of community. Students and teachers can cooperate to build the garden and connect in a way that isn't possible in the classroom. Planning helps the students to keep in control of their life and stay on top of their assignments, therefore reducing stress levels and building a positive atmosphere.
Why did you open the garden to the Deakin community?
Well, we got pressured from Keith, our friend there, with the community garden.
Mostly for that social sort of aspect, but also as well to teach people about how to grow things, essentially. And we get a lot of different people coming along and doing different workshops and things like that about how to grow, how to cook. A lot of people, we find we give a lot of veggies away to students, but they say, oh, what do I do with it? So we've done quite a bit of work around trying to create recipes and different things for things that are growing in our garden, and really educate people about how to grow and eat sustainable food.
A country filled with people. China may be a home to billions of people, but aside from tropical lands, it is actually one of the most biodiverse countries in the world. China has a larger landmass and more forested areas than Australia. There are more than 30,000 plants and 15,000 animals. Australia has more species of animals, but they have the worst mammal extinction rate in the world. More than 1,700 species of flora and fauna are extinct or being at the risk of extinction. Local and national communities can help by planting trees, use renewable energy, to not litter, and to recycle. Compared to other countries, we need to focus more on biodiversity. We need to make biodiversity more mainstream.